So one of the most difficult things that you can possibly run into when either staying in Japan or living in Japan is navigating a Japanese bathroom. Like, it's just a little bit difficult, especially if you don't know kanji, especially if you don't know that there are so many different features, not just for a Japanese toilet, but for the shower as well, for the bath as well, just overall. Most Japanese toilets, showers, air conditioning, bath as well, they're all gonna come with different types of remotes, different types of systems, and you're gonna kind of need to know how to use them. So let's get started on one of the most important things in a household, things that you use every single day, the toilet. If you don't know how to use a Japanese toilet, whether it's a public toilet or private toilet in your own apartment or hotel, you might have a little bit of trouble. Every toilet is going to come with this lovely little pad device. This is basically your remote control for your toilet, how to use it, what to do. Now, luckily this one in particular also has English, and if you're able to find one that has English, that's really gonna help, because otherwise you're gonna have to remember the kanji and the hiragana in order to figure out what each function does. Now, not every toilet is standard like this and comes with this beautiful remote control that's on the wall. Some of them have it on the side of the toilet as well, right here. So this also has some of the features as well. Now, if you're not someone who really uses very many features on a toilet and you just want the one and done, one thing you still need to remember and know how to use is just the flushing mechanism, because that's also different. So I'll show it to you right here. There are two different ways to actually flush the toilet. So showing you right here. Now, this is pretty standard. To flush the toilet, you're going to pull up if you want a big flush, down if you want a small flush. Now, these arrows, you know, the small arrow for small flush, the big arrow for big flush, that's not necessarily always normal. This is going to be the kanji for small, and this is going to be the kanji for big. I'll pull up another example so that you guys can see it in real time. But let's go over the actual use cases of this remote control for the toilet. Now, zoom in a little bit so you guys can actually see it. And then I'll also, you know, zoom in a little more so you can see the full picture of it. But we have stop, which is basically when you use something in the first place, that's the button to stop. We have two different settings right here. This is oshiri and this is bidet. So oshiri for your butt, it sprays your ass and you're nice and clean. Highly recommend. And then the bidet for women, so they can clean after they pee. You can also adjust the shower nozzle position, going more to the front and more to the back, depending on where you need to be cleanly. You can also adjust the water pressure too, up or down. And then you can adjust the temperature of not only the water when you're using the bidet, but also for the seat as well. Now, personally, if you're already living in Japan and you live in an apartment and you have to pay rent and pay utilities and stuff like that, one thing that I do suggest is to not keep the toilet seat running all the time, like the heated seat, because that takes a lot of energy. Not necessarily best case scenario when you have to pay the bill at the end of the month. But otherwise, it's actually a very nice feature, especially during the winter, so you don't get that chill when you first sit down. Moving on to the shower area, the first thing that you're going to notice when we get into the shower is that there is a separate area for showering and for the tub. So you're actually supposed to shower not in the tub area, you're supposed to shower in the shower area right here.
What's up, boys?
So this is customary because usually before you bathe, you're supposed to take a shower. So you're not actually bathing in the bathtub area. The bathtub also has heating capabilities too, so it stays warm while you're taking your shower. Or you take your shower first, then you fill up the tub, then you enjoy your bath. Same kind of concept for going to onsens and sentos as well. But, you know, as a foreigner, or if you're in a hotel and you're just not really using the bath, because I know more Japanese people have bath time rather than foreigners do, you can still use the bath. There's still drainage and it still catches the hair and stuff in the bath as well. But if you do want to be more authentic with it, then you're going to take a shower first and use the shower area right here to take the shower instead of the bath. There are also a few features for the shower that we need to go through as well. Outside of the shower, there is going to be this lovely pad right here in order to help you with all of whatever you need in the shower. Now this is usually for like post-shower, like keeping the shower cleanly and stuff like that. It doesn't actually clean it, but the number one thing that you want to keep on all the time is the 24-hour fan. If you look for 24, that is the ventilation that happens 24 hours a day. And that just keeps things to dry so that there's no mold accumulation and stuff like that. So highly recommend that. You can also turn the fan on as well in order to have a little more ventilation. Granted, this takes more energy as well. So kind of depends on whether you're just staying short time and you don't have to deal with paying for utilities, or if you're living here, maybe that's something you want to use a little sparingly, but there's also a timer for that as well. There's also a heating capability. So let's say that it's raining, it's too cold to hang your clothes out to dry on the balcony. You can actually put them in the bathroom and hang them that way using the heater. Also, this is taking a fair amount of energy, but it actually heats your clothes and dries them pretty quickly. A lot of people don't actually use the drying machine. There's usually not a drying machine, but some washers have washing, drying capabilities. That usually takes up more energy, so people end up using the bathroom instead in order to dry their clothes. So that is a great option as well. And finally, we have this baby right here. Oh yeah. That is gonna be your heating and cooling unit, which is probably the most important thing for the summer, for the winter, for whenever. And it comes usually with this nifty little control panel as well. Now these are usually always going to be in Japanese, in kanji, in hiragana, katakana. So if you can't read, you're kind of screwed. If you're at like an Airbnb situation or maybe at a hotel, there might be an instruction manual in order to help you out. But some of the main things that you just need to know are, you know, cooling and heating. So blue is usually going to be for air conditioning. You use the arrows to adjust. Red or orange or the lighter color, that's going to be your heating system, also using these to adjust. And the green, if you actually didn't know, is usually for dehumidifying. So the summers get super humid here, and that's not necessarily a good thing for your room, for, you know, your clothes, for all that kind of stuff. So you can turn on the dehumidifier in order to cool down the temperature too. There's also a regular fan too, so if you don't want to use air conditioning or heating, you can use the fan instead. I'll also add a little picture somewhere right here so you can see the full layout of the remote and some of this function as well. And then just making sure that the bottom button is to stop. Now there's a timer as well. You can definitely use the timer for the air conditioning and the heating and stuff like that. But you know, maybe using it to a minimum, just like, you know, only having it on when you're in the room. That usually helps with conservation of energy as well. Hey friends, I realized that I never made an outro for this video, so hope you guys learned something. I know that like when I first moved to Japan, it was a struggle to like kind of remember all the kanji and all the stuff that I need to. So I just want to let you guys know, eventually you will get it like I did. And even sometimes I need a reminder too. But let me know what other kind of content that you want to see on the channel. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And I'll see you next time. Peace.